Welcome to Campaign Chronicle. Three things dominating political news today. We'll hit them all quickly. First of all, this weekend, Rick Santorum scoring a 25-point win in the great state of Louisiana. But the silence was deafening. Virtually no coverage, despite the fact that a presumptive frontrunner loses a deep southern state by 25 points. This is yet more sign that the media seems to have declared this primary race all but over. And again, the only people who can declare it over are the Republican primary voters, getting Mitt Romney to 1144. Next up, Wisconsin and Maryland. Wisconsin in particular is going to be a major prize. Santorum will need to win that. He was ahead in the polls in the past, now falling behind Romney. But winning Louisiana by 25 points isn't nothing. It deserves some attention, not just a candidate cursing. Second point, health care. This is going to be all about SCOTUS this week. Supreme Court of the United States hearing a case testing the constitutionality of Obamacare. Now, I'm fascinated by the whole history of this, how the individual mandate, which is now being described as a cancer on the U.S. Constitution, was originally touted as a conservative idea by the Heritage Foundation. There are going to be a lot of fascinating issues at play here. Person to watch, the only swing vote that matters in the United States, Justice Anthony Kennedy. He could have the fate of this initiative in his hands. One open question is whether the Obama administration was too clever by half in refusing to call the individual mandate a tax, which would have been constitutional. Finally, President Obama in North Korea for nuclear weapons talks. A live mic incident is starting to create some buzz, and I think could be a major issue in President Obama's re-elect campaign, if only to illustrate some of the questions that surround it. President Obama, speaking with Russian leader Dmitry Medvedev, gets caught on an open mic talking about missile defense in particular. Here's what he said. On all these issues, but particularly missile defense, this can be solved, but it's important for him to give me space, him being Vladimir Putin. Medvedev says, I understand your message about space for you. Obama clarifies, this is my last election. After my election, I have more flexibility. That line is going to appear in a campaign ad some point soon, raising questions about just what an Obama second administration could look like. Look, it's a slip of a tongue in diplomatic conversations. It will no doubt be distorted to make it sound like President Obama is intending to sell out U.S. interests to Russia in a second term. That's not the case. Nonetheless, it does speak in a behind-the-curtain moment to a flexibility on some issues like missile defense, which have grave implications. And the real kicker is Medvedev's last line. I understand. I will transmit this information to Vladimir. That ain't good. That's out of a Russian spy novel, not a high-level presidential negotiation. Among the many lessons, you're never off the record, and there's always a live mic somewhere. For Campaign Chronicles, have a good Monday.